fuck you, Dad.
So yeah, I just got back from brunch today, dude.
Brunch today?
Yeah, and brunch is the shit. I personally think.
Yeah, of course.
Because like, why should I have to wait to drink at night when my feelings start during the day?
Right.
You know, it's like cut out the middleman.
Hit it.
Let's ambush these fuckers at dawn.
You've seen True Detective season 1?
No.
Okay, well, there's a character. His name's Rust. He's a detective, and he's being interviewed by the police, and he's drinking during the interview. And they go, Rust, do you need to drink during a police interview? And he looks at him. He goes, it's Thursday. On Thursday, I drink. And that's how I feel about Sundays, dude.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely. It's just like a little cheat code for your weekend. Like you get drunk in the morning, you pass out. That's 2 days now.
Yes.
You just fucking increase my days. If I do that Saturday and Sunday, we're in a weekend to like a fucking 4-day.
Technically, I wake up at about 10 a.m. on Sunday, but when do I actually wake up? It's 4 p.m.
Oh, for sure.
Because you wake up, you drink, you go back to bed.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It gets you closer to the drunk you want to be, which is all of the time.
Yeah.
You know? That's the great thing about day drinking.
Yes.
It's like, well, yeah, I'd love to do this during the day and at night and whatever, as soon as every moment I'm alive. But
I went to the museum today.
yeah, I did. That was, that kind of caught me off guard when you're like, oh, I'm learning. And I was like, that's not a Nick thing that he says.
No, my sister got me
Yeah, I know.
a year membership to the museums, which really called checkmate on the move of like Kelly wanting to go to the museum all the time.
Oh, right.
Because now it's like free. And now that it's free, it's like there's no way to say no.
So do you think like your girlfriend and your sister were conspiring in a way to trap you in a series of date nights?
They're trying to make me
do?
smart, bro, and I can't deal with
trying
it.
to make you
Even though there were some fucked up parts.
What museum did you go to? The history one?
The Field Museum, yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been there. It's pretty good.
There's some cool parts. We started in the Africa exhibit, which was like super dope, and then they had the slavery part, which you gotta have.
Yeah.
But they did it in such a cartoony way. Like you're sitting in this room that is a slave ship, and there's like this dude with a whip with like a cartoon face. It was like very mid-90s.
Yeah, that feels a little
super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And all the white people are just head down, like speed walking through that.
Yeah,
thing,
they're like,
dude.
oh, okay. Yeah.
Beforehand, before the slavery stuff, you have to be very because you're trying to learn about the culture and everything. You're like, oh, very interesting, very cool. And then you get to the slavery part, and you're like, super walk. Don't read a thing, otherwise you're a weird guy.
Right. Yeah, that seems. It's also not like a fun date night thing with your. It's like taking someone to the Holocaust Museum. You're like, well, that doesn't put you in a fun mood.
No, but they do that at least really tastefully. Like it's pretty accurately miserable in there. This was like a fun day at the museum, and then that's kind
of bizarre.
It was really
it should
strange.
Be like pretty sad, I imagine.
Yeah, it should be kind of miserable.
Yeah, there shouldn't be like a fun exhibit. Like, oh, that exhibit was a blast.
Yeah, it was like they had like a not animatronic, but like a full on like light display of like you in a slave ship. It was super weird.
Yeah, so is that one of those dates you went on? You're like, well, that was fun. Like, what do you even say to that?
No, we had to cleanse. We went to like the mammals part where it's just a bunch of like, I hope fake animals. I don't think they're real stuffed animals in there, but
I think they do have some for sure.
I don't know, but that was fun. You got to see all the animals and stuff and the birds, and then the giant T-Rex is there.
It really
does
sound like I'm just talking to a little kid about his day a little bit.
It was a field trip. It was a field trip with my girlfriend.
Yeah, it's just your girlfriend's like, it's kind of fun learning about the complexities of like these different cultures. You're like, yeah, there were some birds, T-Rexes, there were some big bones. It's like, my God, Nick.
I went on a field trip. It did feel like, because I went to the bathroom once, and then I walked out of the bathroom, and I didn't see her right away, and I was like, where's my girlfriend? I need security. Security, where'd she go?
It's just like what's the thing they'd have you go with? What's the person, the adult?
The chaperone.
Yeah, the girlfriend is just the chaperone of life.
Oh, yeah. Just looking out for you.
Yeah, just... well, that's the sane adult that kind of keeps me from being lost.
Yeah, she'll be like, are you going out drinking tonight? And I'll be like, yeah. And she goes, you got your buddy?
Yeah,
I got my buddy. Okay.
Yeah, oh, my God. Well, I feel like on this podcast we talk a lot about my dad, obviously. But then the tragedy of that is we skip over all these other traumatic parts of my life that are also fun and neat, And I feel like we do that a disservice.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna get into one of them that I've actually never told you the story before.
Oh, okay.
But so I had this background. I had I had a core group of friends growing up, only like 3 or 4. Never been much of a popular guy. One of them was this guy that was a little bit of like a troublemaker. You know what I mean? He started smoking weed in like 5th grade.
I love how he's a troublemaker. He's
smoking weed in 5th grade. Offered me weed, and there was enough self-awareness that I'm like, I know I'm going to do drugs, but I need to chill because I just played tag recently. This feels a little inappropriate to start.
Yeah,
I should still have some childlike wonder where I'm not done with life.
You had enough self-awareness at 5th grade to be like, I need to live out these wonder years.
Yeah, like I need to at least. And I told him, I was like, let's do 7th. I was like, 7th feels like when I'm going to start smoking.
Yeah.
So like that's who he is. You know, bit of a rough family life. His brother is a bit of a rapscallion as well. Was in a gang. Okay,
scallywag.
So
straight scallywag.
So I guess that made him sort of jealous. So one day in 7th grade, he came up to me and he's like, we should start a gang.
Oh yeah.
And again, my first thought is quite literally because I don't have that many friends. I'm like, well, sweet, new friends. Like we'll have new friends. We have a cool handshake. We have matching outfits. I'm like, yeah, a gang is just a group of buddies.
Yeah, it's the Goonies.
And look out for each other.
Goon Squad.
It's like fucking Homecoming, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just this is going to be great. And so he's just like, it'll just be people that are just chill and they're all about making money. And I'm also like, bro, you're a middle class white dude in 7th grade. Like, why are you into hustling, right? Your mom gives you an allowance. Like, I know how much the money seems fine in your world. Also, second, it's just like that could just be a group of friends. We don't necessarily need that to be a criminal organization.
Take out the money part. Arguably a better group of people, like people who are just chill. Then you could have some fun.
Yeah, like, do you want to just, start a club? Maybe we just start a club at middle school. I don't know.
It's so funny because if you really backtrack that, he just wanted to be a Boy Scout, probably.
He just
wanted to be a Boy Scout.
Let's join Boy Scouts. We get some discipline. We get things going on. There's some incentive structure. But he wanted to start this gang. And can you guess what the name of the gang would be?
It's got to be, it's got to be something like White Boy Stuntin' or like, although not everyone's white in this gang.
No, it's pretty much an open door. Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be kind of a community college pamphlet gang.
I have no idea. I haven't.
It's A-Town Hustlers.
Okay. Yeah.
So A-Town, based on the town Apex, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Which, if you know anything about that place, is hilarious because it's like the most fucking suburban, boring whatever. It's the idea that there'd be
That's where I grew up too, Plymouth, and guess what we called it?
What?
B-Town.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea that there would be fucking like gangbangers out of Apex is in itself hilarious.
A-Town Hustlers.
A-Town Hustlers.
Nice.
So then he starts a real date. We even sign and everything.
You should throw that up after a set, dude. Just see what happens.
A-Town
just
Hustlers.
crush. Just be like A-Town Hustlers.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, as if anyone's Apex, North Carolina, straight out the cul-de-sac, son. But so and then then there starts to be like, okay, Saturday, you come out, we'll get the initiation going.
Oh,
to
no.
this gang.
Yeah.
Right? And so another thing is,
can I guess what the initiation was?
Well, we'll get into it.
Oh, okay.
That's a big part of it. So again, my mom drops me off in an SUV to the initiation, which if your mom drops you off on the way to a gang initiation, you don't need to be in a gang. You know what I mean?
No.
And I literally had a backpack with pajamas in it because it's a sleepover.
Yeah,
You're sleeping over for the gang initiation for
That'd
sure.
be so funny if you were in the back of the SUV just tying a bandana and be like, Mom, play some Tupac. And she's like, oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I did. I was wearing a Green Day t-shirt and shorts.
You're ready to be initiated.
Ready to be in A-Town.
Let's go.
So we go. I meet up in this park, which is like this weird, like a nice, actually like well-funded. Again, this is a community.
Like there was a playground on the park.
There's a community with no problems, basically. It's like they've put the money in. There's no need for this like random criminal organization.
Yeah.
And we get there. It's my friend, his older brother, and then just a bunch of sketchy dudes that are like look like from the cast of like Breaking Bad, like just like tattooed up. Like white, like crazy looking, like kind of like straight from a PSA of like don't smoke meth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, they went and rounded them up.
Yeah, there was a couple. Couple dudes, like each
Okay.
one, like the guy that hangs out of high school, he's been out for a couple years, but he's
Yeah.
still like back drinking a 40, hanging out with like his current girlfriend who's in high school.
Oh,
like,
wow.
They rounded those people.
All right, A-Town Hustlers, dude,
Yeah,
showed
yeah,
up.
yeah,
They showed up.
So they're hanging, and then I get there.
You're there with pajamas.
I'm literally there with a backpack with pajamas. That's what you need to. This entire time I know this story, just imagine a fat 7th grader in a Green Day T-shirt.
Oh yeah, you were kind of chubby too.
I was
Chubby.
pretty chubby.
Pretty chubby.
Just a fat old loser.
Probably had a box of Cheez-Its somewhere, or thinking about a box of Cheez-Its. You were locating a box of Cheez-Its.
I was gonna need a lot of Cheez-Its after this. Get through this time. But so we come up, and again, not the most organized group of people. They haven't actually figured out what the initiation will be.
No, okay.
So,
no one's put any thought into it.
Well, they have some thought. Like his brother was like, "Listen, I got like I don't know the code or whatever. I got like the rules of it back at the house. He forgot it at the house. You know, he's got a lot going on. And then, but they haven't exactly figured out. And then my friend, I guess he was just trying to look up for me. It's like maybe we should make him smoke his first J. But then they make fun of him. It's like, well, then what the fuck are you gonna say? Like, what did you do to get in this gang? It's like, oh, I got high
I
as shit.
smoked weed.
Yeah. So they're like, well, that's off the table. That's off the table.
Yeah.
And somebody else goes, what we should do is we line up, we stand in a line in front of them, and one by one we punch him in the face.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other guy
That turned from like kind of fun to like, oh no, now I want to go home.
And then he just went from like we could just do a traditional like jumping, like you push him down, everybody. So there's just 5 people brainstorming on ways
It's
to
a think tank.
horrifically hurt me. And again, I'm sitting in a fucking Green Day T-shirt and shorts on a summer day, and he's one of my best friends. This is one of my best and only friends. This is all I have. And I'm like, I almost want to chime in. I'm like, what if we watch Xbox? And, we play Xbox, we watch Family Guy, and just kind of have each other's backs, you know? Like, I just like in my head, I'm like, how did this? There's so many moments in my life, Nick, where I'm just sitting in the midst of a horrible thing, and I go, what did I do?
Wait.
What did I do?
How do we reverse this?
Yeah, how do there's just one of those where I just like, I want to go back to the initial like sperm heading towards the end going, this will be a good time, and just be like, nope, wait on the next one, this ain't it.
That happens with my friends all the time now. They'll just be like, all of a sudden, we'll be walking on a trail. We'll go on a vacation together.
Yeah.
We'll be walking on a trail, and one of my friends would go like, I think I might want to go skydiving at some point. And then my other friend's like, I already booked a place for us to go skydiving in 6 hours. And then we're in a car on the way to the skydiving place.
But you just described a good time.
No, that's not a good time, dude.
I'm talking about
Stress, dude.
5 degenerates brainstorming ways to beat the shit out of me, and you're like, yeah, so my friends want to go skydiving. Like that's
a thing that
that's
just
still
it's spiraling out of control.
That's a fun like vacation idea.
No, dude, skydiving. You got to think about skydiving.
I'll take skydiving over some guy named Rex beating the fuck out of me any day.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But so what they settled on was that my friend Spencer was gonna. Oh, I said his name. Well, that's whatever. Yeah, his life is what his life is. I don't think there's any shocker there. But like he that he's gonna punch me in the face basically like 5 times.
5 times?
Yeah.
He's gonna punch you in the face 5 times.
Yeah.
Are you the only one getting initiated?
I am the only one getting initiated.
Wow, that's some bullshit, dude. I would be pretty furious.
As you can imagine, not a lot of self-esteem at this point in the
life. But you didn't have any like, did all of you get punched in the face 5 times?
No, that's another thing. They're just sort of, I guess,
everyone else was grandfathered in.
Everybody else is sort of a shareholder of A-Town Hustlers.
They're like, we're in, but this fat kid is out. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
That's a fun Friday night.
So again, we're just standing under a bridge. And there's just they're like, all right, go. And then he just punches me in the face several times. Oh, my
God.
And then I...
How hard? Pretty hard?
Pretty fucking hard. It hurt, like, real bad. And then afterwards, I'm like, sweet, we're still friends, right? Like, what's that? And they like hugged me.
You had to ask them that...
I mean, in my head, I didn't say I'm just sort of like, cool.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And then I was in a fish. And you know what the funniest part is? Nothing ever happened with this. When there was no, like, future plans. There was no, like, actual activity. There was, fortunately, there was. I'm not sitting here in a jail cell repping A-Town. Like, nothing ever. It was just one afternoon, my friend punched me in the face 5 times. for a thing, and then it just never was really brought up.
That's
again.
what a white gang is, dude. That's what a white suburban gang is. It's just an excuse to bully a fat kid.
Yeah.
That's all they ever are.
Yeah, and so it just like never turned into anything. And then I even brought it up to him.
It's all kids with no ambition, dude.
They have zero
kids
ambition.
in the city. They got ambition. They
like,
steal
got
from
drink-
people.
They were like
they steal cars.
This was
they
just
sell drugs.
this was just another way to piss off mom and dad. There was no
Just
larger.
Literally, not even that. Just punch you in the face.
Yeah, I think it was just punching me, and it just fucked because I'd still talk to this guy sometimes, and I brought it up to him the other day. I'm like, can we just acknowledge that like fucking and he just started laughing. He's like, oh yeah, A-Town Hustlers. And I was like, dude, I was like, just
there was no apology.
He was like, it was mainly my brother's idea. He was in a rough place.
Yeah,
I was I'm sorry about that, but I was just like,
oh, okay. Later there was
some, but at the
right.
time it was just like, I guess I'm just so I am like I'm an A-Town Hustlers member. I got that going on.
That's so fucking funny, dude.
It was just
That is funny.
Another bit of random like, horrible thing.
Under a bridge too.
Under a bridge being
really
punched.
took it.
Yeah. And it's also like one of those like, how was your friends? You're like, oh great. Oh, it was a fun time. Like you just have that lie in your head.
There's
like,
just blood running down your face.
Oh yeah, I was a little fucked up. I mean, it was just.
How was your initiation, honey?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it was just.
A-Town Hustlers till I die.
I mean, it's just like never. I don't. Especially knowing me, like, who do we know? Okay, we got a sensitive guy who doesn't stand up for himself. Clearly a gang member. Clearly, an enforcer of the streets.
Well, I just got back from North Carolina. I did
our home base.
Our home base.
Our home base of A-Town Hustlers. That's what I mean. That's our home territory.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was all up in your territory, doing a bunch of shows. Big shot. The Idiot Box and Good Nights fucking refilled my batteries, bro. Yeah, I'm all juiced up now.
Do you feel like you let comedy completely run your self-esteem?
No, not self-esteem, but it feels good when you get juiced up.
It feels good when the thing you're working at all the time goes well.
It's just my shit goes into other things, when comedy isn't where I want it to be, I just go like, I'm pretty good at poker.
See what you
pretty
need
good
to do.
at podcasting.
What you need to do is not have that many other things. Like we got the podcast, you got some relationships, you got some friends. But me, like when comedy doesn't work out, it's sort of like, what am I doing?
Well,
I
definitely
have,
feel that.
Not that many other,
things
going on.
It definitely changes my whole outlook on life. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Oh,
when I'm doing well, I'm like, okay, I can tap into this now.
Yeah.
I was opening up for Dan Soder, which will include his episode of this podcast after this podcast. If you're listening, if you want to keep listening, listen to his episode because he's the best. If he's in any city that you're in, go see him. He has the best 9/11 joke right now. I watched this whole hour multiple times. The shows were fucking awesome. I gotta ask you, have you ever done like awesome on stage and then just bombed shit in the green room?
Yeah.
Bombed shit in the green room,
old,
dude.
Tim Dilly, honestly, one of the weekends was just awkward.
Yeah, dude.
It feels like
so hard.
It feels worse than like The Office. Like you go and you make the people laugh, and you go back and like the conversation. It's like a date, like a first date that just isn't going well. And you can tell there's no connection there. Yeah, and it's dumb because like you're their comedians, your comedians. You're like, well, I guess we'll all get in common. We're all funny people. But sometimes it's like, oh, there's just nothing. Like we don't get along at all.
Or it's just like. They're just not like Dan's the nicest dude. Like he wasn't mean.
Also,
at all.
I think for them that's just like their Monday. They're
exactly.
Work. And then we're like this is you tell your friend you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, my parents are here.
It's like spring break for us. It's like holy shit. And then for them they're like they're bummed that they have to talk to you.
Exactly.
They're bummed they have to put up with this random lunatic in North Carolina.
And I did the most ridiculous thing you could ever do. If you're in my situation where you're like opening for someone you like respect and love their comedy and everything, what you should do is shut the fuck up and just
be a chill guy.
Be a regular guy.
Yeah.
But I was so sketchy the whole time I was in there. I have Midwestern brain, I realized. Yeah. Because it's leading up to the weekend, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be chill, I'm going to whatever. But if I see somebody who's been on TV before, I just go, what up? I know you from the TV.
Oh,
and I can't say what I say.
There's so many nerves around hanging out with a very famous person, because in your head you're kind of like, oh, everything I say I want to be awesome.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Everything and most things we say are not that great.
What a ridiculous way to think about yourself.
What a hard standard to have.
Exactly.
And so it usually falls apart with you just being really quiet and awkward.
There were some. Okay, I'll run through some of the worst things I said in the green room, bro.
Well, there you go.
I've got a top 3. The third worst thing was we were looking at the waiters and everything, and I was like, man, I miss waiting tables, which is a huge lie. I don't miss waiting tables.
You were just trying to make conversation.
I just was like, say something, and I was like, I miss waiting tables, and then of course Dan was like, man, you and me are different people, and I was like, yeah, I just said a ridiculous thing, and you can't take it back.
It's also you have to defend that stance now. And be like, I just genuinely love a stressful job that doesn't pay
I love a shitty job that I get paid $2 an hour for. I love it.
As if Dan's gonna be like, yeah, dude, honestly, sometimes I'll be on the stage recording an HBO special, and I'm like, man, I wish I was at a fucking Carrabba's. It was really just crowded right now.
Exactly,
it's like, what?
Dude. It was.
Also, you're in the midst of doing it. You're in the green room at a hot comedy club on a weekend, and you're like, boy, do I miss just a wild brunch rush.
It was
covered in ranch. People
wild thing to say, man. I couldn't believe it.
Nick, you gotta just sometimes, and it's hard, but I've come to do it. Be okay with just kind of sucking. You have to learn, and we don't talk about it a lot as people in this country, but there's a lot of us, we just kind of suck. And we try to avoid it. We try to the elephants.
No, I was pretty torn up about this.
The elephant's always in the room. The fact that you just kind of suck.
Yeah,
and sometimes you just need to accept it. Where you're in the green room, you don't have anything to say because you're not that important or interesting. And so you just just be quiet and say your fucking 10 minutes. Let Dan talk. He's cool.
Yeah.
If you got something to say, you'll chip in.
Yeah.
We don't, but I feel that sometimes it's quiet with somebody, even somebody you love, your friends, your girlfriend, whatever.
Anybody.
And you feel the need to start a conversation out of nowhere. No worse conversation than when you're looking out and you're like, oh, a lot of signs. And there's no worse time because all you're saying when you do that is you're like, hey, I can't be alone with myself.
Yeah.
You're just hey, can we just have some chatter to distract from the fact that we're all going to die one day? And you just can't be doing that.
That is what that was, too.
That's all. You were just in your brain. You didn't like your brain.
Oh, I was in my brain the whole time.
To be granted, I hate the inside of my head. I hate the inside of your head. I've never even been there. But I know
it's a terrible place, bro.
Well,
okay, the headliner though, the headliner of the worst green room behavior after the Thursday show was amazing.
Yeah.
Fucking everyone on the show crushed. It was just front to back, great show. Dan gets off stage. We're in the green room. We're joshing around. We're just talking about whatever. I forgot. They were just trying to find a place to eat. And then I wanted to talk shop with Dan. I just wanted to talk about one of his jokes or whatever.
Yeah.
Just to hear how he thinks about jokes. Because that's crazy cool. Yeah. And I was like, a good way to do that is try to pitch him a bit, dude. Run it.
Right. So you're thinking that you bombed at the waiting tables thing, right?
Yeah.
You haven't talked to him that much. It's clear that I've
talked to him.
He's the headliner. He's talked to him on the podcast for sure.
Yeah.
But also he's the headliner.
Yeah. He's had an HBO special.
You're announcing drink specials in North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
And you think
I'm breaking even.
You could have used the advice from me.
I don't know what I was thinking.
You know what I mean? You'd be like, hey, I know you're in New York, literally with the best people alive that do this thing, but I co-headlined a Giggly Wiggly 2 years ago, and I want to fucking tell you what's up. You know what I mean?
I should be interactive.
I regularly do okay at bar shows in Indiana.
Yeah.
So I want to fucking
You should know me, and you should put me. My thoughts deserve to be with your thoughts.
Yeah. I am told that I'm someone with a lot of potential, possibly a lot.
Yeah.
So
my parents are coming tomorrow, but here's a tag I wrote for you.
Yeah.
And it went terribly. He gave me a nice, short, quick answer of why it wouldn't work. And he skedaddled out of the green room. And the feature and Dan's girlfriend were in the green room with me. And they looked at me like, oh, buddy.
See, that's one of those where you go,
buddy.
Oh, maybe it wasn't that bad. And then they look over and you're like, oh, it was.
Oh, it was. That was confirmed. It was confirmed
Nick,
bad.
This is another thing that I think we need to tell people to do. Sometimes your self-hatred and anxiety is right.
It was right. It's very
Sometimes
right,
you're kind of like, maybe I should believe in myself. There's sometimes where whenever you shouldn't. There's sometimes you listen to that little voice that says you're not good enough. He's just trying to help you.
I blame North Carolina, dude. They built me up. I was doing amazing in Greensboro and stuff. They were like, "You're so funny. You're great."
Nick, you also got to remember you just said the phrase North Carolina. You know what I mean?
I love North Carolina.
We all love North Carolina, but it's also fucking North Carolina.
I know they make me feel so good when I'm out there that I fuck
That's like if we were like, bro, I was at the club just murdering in Montana. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, and you're laughing like love North Carolina, but it's still... It's apples and oranges. You know what I mean?
It definitely...
When I'm back home in Wyoming at the home club, it's like, yeah, I'm sure you're one of the 15 people there that can successfully do stand-up. You know? Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it was rough. But Dan's super nice. He was super nice to me afterwards. And he knew obviously, everyone could tell I was nervous, dude. I had like pit stains. I was like talking gibberish. They were like...
well... Sometimes we fuck up.
It was a fun weekend, though. It was a good time.
Yeah, it sounds like a great time.
We got through
just
it,
make
dude. Nervous
small talk in the green room. You bomb. I just piss it off the...
But the on stage was incredible. And his audience was awesome. I met people after the show. Like, it was a great weekend, except for like the 45 minutes combined.
Like, oh, you're the guy Dan said pitched him a tag?
Yeah,
that
dude.
Was terrible.
Oh, I'd quit, dude. It would be over. It'd be donezo for me. If like people in the audience were like, you didn't see his tweet? Yeah, he tweeted about this dumbass who pitched him a tag.
You know what the saddest part is? That would be your biggest credit. If he tweeted about that you would have to brag and be like, this next comic, Dan Soder once tweeted about him on Twitter and called him an annoying hack. Give it up for Nick Cartwright, everybody.
It was almost sick because so he had his girlfriend in the green room, and his girlfriend made a joke about because I was like, we both wanted a brownie sundae after Saturday, and I was like, oh, we could just share one. I don't know if I'm gonna eat the whole thing. And she was like, if Dan sees us sharing, like, he'd have to fight you. And then in the back of my mind, I was like, if me and Dan Soder fought, that would be huge for my career. That would be so big for me.
The sickness of doing this goddamn thing is like, that is great content. Like, if Dan Soder broke your nose in a parking lot, that's actually great. You're like, we put that on TikTok. We have things going on. We have articles.
The whole weekend, I'm scared of him hating me. But then I was like, if he hated me, that might be good for my career.
No. It's either he really loves you, takes you on the road, but if he really hates you to the point where he breaks your nose in a parking lot, he's on TMZ. They're like, who's this Nick Cartwright? The guy like, he's unappreciated, to the point where like I might actually start a fight with the next headliner. And hopefully he breaks my nose.
Yeah. Kind of instigate him.
I mean, it's just so dark with this shit where you're just like, that kid. Well, you could be bleeding from the nose. Someone's filming you, and you're like, this will get so many followers. Just the retweets alone is worth it.
There's a TikTok of a kid being stretchered into an ambulance, and somebody's recording him, and his like dying. He didn't die, but his like last words before shutting the ambulance doors is just like, tag me. He whispers, tag me.
That's kind of how I feel with all this possible World War III shit. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a decent chance that bombs.
That's how you know we're good comedians, dude. We didn't even say the word Russia this whole time. We didn't even talk about it.
No, for sure. But I'm saying there's a chance.
It's all business on this podcast.
Yeah. There's a chance. The bombs are falling while we're podcasting, and we'll be the guys that are just like plugging our Patreon on and hell.
Oh, absolutely.
As it's going down. A fun thing to listen to in the bunker as you're holding your family is the Fuck Your Dad podcast.
I will scrape the Patreon link into a hand grenade and throw it into a bunker, dude. I will do what it takes. You could have supported Ukraine on Patreon.
Everyone in Ukraine right now is nervously in their apartments, holding their heads, listening to Fuck You Dad. I think that's absolute true.
Absolutely.
That whole thing
that's the absolute truth. Absolutely.
Whole thing's been pretty terrifying. But
I think it's time for us to plug what we got to plug.
Okay. Yeah, well...
this will come out, if you're listening to this in Iowa City right now, we are in Iowa City tonight and tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're
at the Joystick.
We're at the Joystick, headlining
ripping it up.
Having a great time.
Cheap drinks.
Come the fuck out.
Such a good room.
Super fun. Great time. We're going to be in Lincoln, Nebraska on the 26th, me and Nikki. And also Lincoln Lodge, 5 days, 7 nights a week, comedy. Yeah. Great shit all the time. Come out and see us.
Absolutely.
Support the goddamn Patreon. It's
the Patreon.
Literally all we have.
Yeah, we got to hop on that after this. We got to spit some I got some extra juicy details that I'm going to spit on the Patreon if you want to hop on that.
100%.
And keep listening for the bonus episode with Dan that we did. I think that was earlier 2021. And we love you. See ya. Hey guys, you just listened to another episode of Fuck You Dad. If you could
follow us on our Instagram, which is FCKYOUDAD podcast. That's the important one. We also have a Twitter account, which is FCKYOUDADPODCA1. If you could follow that. Also, please submit any father stories that you have that you'd like us to make fun of, laugh at, or share. Shoot that to our Instagram DMs. And if you could please go ahead and rate the podcast, share the podcast with your friends and family that might enjoy it, and keep listening. Thank you so much.